Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to trace the incredible biological journey of sound, all the way from a simple wave in the air to an actual thought inside your brain. So how do we do it? Let's find out. Really think about that question for a second. How does something that happens out there in the world become an experience, a piece of information right here inside your mind? It seems kind of magical, doesn't it? Well, it turns out the best way to think about it is as this amazingly clever relay race. It's a series of handoffs where sound literally changes its form, getting passed from one part of your ear to the next, all the way to the finish line, your brain. So where does a race like this even begin? Well, it all starts with the very nature of sound itself. That's really all it is. Seriously. A car horn, your favorite song, at its most basic level, it's just a wave of pressure rippling through the air. And our outer ears, they are perfectly shaped to catch that wave and funnel it inward, kicking this whole thing off. So that pressure wave travels down your ear canal until it smacks right into this, the eardrum. It's this incredibly delicate little membrane, we're talking smaller than a dime, and its entire job is to take that pressure and start vibrating. This is the first crucial handoff in the relay race, from air pressure to physical movement. Okay, so let's follow that vibration. From a delicate little membrane, we move into what you could call the mechanical middle of the ear, where things get, well, they get a lot louder. So picture this. The eardrum is vibrating away, and sitting right behind it are three tiny bones, just waiting to catch that energy. They're so small and perfectly positioned that they pick up every single one of those movements. And these bones, they're just incredible. They are. And this is literally true. The smallest bones in your entire body. They work together like a tiny, super efficient lever system. And their one and only job is to take those gentle vibrations from the eardrum and make them way, way stronger. All right, so we've gone from a pressure wave to a physical vibration, and we've amplified it. But now we get to the most amazing part of the whole journey. This is where solid mechanics turn into pure electricity. I want you to meet the star of the show, the cochlea. It's this tiny, beautiful, snail-shaped thing, and it's filled with fluid. Everything we've talked about so far has been leading right here, because this is where the real magic happens. Those three little amplifier bones, they pass that powerful mechanical energy right into the cochlea. And this causes the fluid inside that little snail shell to ripple and create waves. It's almost like dropping a tiny pebble into a self-contained pond. And here it is. This is the final physical step. Lining the inside of that cochlea are thousands of microscopic little hair-like structures. And as the fluid ripples, it bends these tiny hairs. And that simple bending motion, that's what finally generates an electrical signal. Mind-blowing. Okay, I know, that was a lot to take in, so let's just quickly walk through that incredible transformation one more time. This fantastic relay race of energy starts out in the world with a simple pressure wave. That's it, a vibration in the air. It gets funneled into your ear, hits the eardrum, and instantly becomes a mechanical bone vibration. Then those three tiny levers do their job. They amplify the signal, giving it the power it needs to become ripples in a fluid. Inside that snail-shaped cochlea, the vibration becomes a wave in a tiny pond, which in turn finally creates an electrical signal. And that is the only language your brain can actually understand. So you've gone from air to bone to fluid, all to create a tiny spark of electricity. So here's the big takeaway. When you think you're hearing a song or a person's voice, what your brain is actually doing is interpreting this incredible chain reaction. You're really hearing electrical signals that were made from ripples, that were made from bone vibrations, that were made from pressure waves. It's just absolutely amazing. So the signal has been created, but the journey isn't quite over yet. We've got to get that signal to headquarters, and then we'll take a quick look at how technology can actually give this whole process a helping hand. So the final leg of this relay race is handled by the auditory nerve. You can think of it like a high-speed data cable. It zaps those electrical signals directly up to your brain. And it's only then, once they're inside your brain, that those little sparks are finally interpreted as what we actually recognize as sound. And what's so fascinating is how we figured out how to help this process along. For most hearing aids, the solution is pretty simple. They work right at the beginning of the chain, just amplifying all the sound waves before they even go in your ear. But some of the newer, smarter devices, they actually use machine learning to decide which specific sounds to amplify, making it way easier to understand things. Which, just leads you to a pretty simple conclusion. It's a marvel of biology working hand in hand with human ingenuity. When you break it all down, it's hard not to just sit back and think, wow, humans and technology are so cool. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We've gotten so good at understanding and even improving our sense of hearing. So, what's next? What sense will we choose to enhance next?